All right, let's jump right in. We're going to cackle one of the most famous transformation stories ever written, period. I'm talking about the incredible journey of Ebenezer Scrooge from Charles Dickens' classic, A Christmas Carol. I mean, how does a guy so completely consumed by greed just flip a switch and find his humanity in one single night? That's what we're going to unpack.
And right from the get-go, Dickens just comes out swinging. He hits us with this line and bam, we immediately get who Scrooge is. He's not just some stingy businessman, no. He's described like a force of nature, you know? His whole reason for being is just to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze every last drop out of everyone and everything around him. It's more than just a character sketch. It's a powerful statement about a way of life.
Okay, so before we can even talk about redemption, we've got to understand the guy who needs redeeming, right? So let's start there. We're going to diagnose Scrooge, take a hard look at this fortress of misery he's built around himself, one miserable brick at a time. And this is what's so incredible about the writing. Dickens doesn't just say Scrooge was greedy. That's boring. Instead, he unleashes this storm of words, these really physical, almost violent words, to make you feel the greed. Squeezing, wrenching, grasping. It paints this picture of a man who's constantly fighting to hold on to everything. And in doing that, he's left absolutely no room for anything good, like warmth or, simple human connection. And this moment right here, it perfectly sums up Scrooge's entire worldview. His nephew, who's all cheerful, wishes him a Merry Christmas, and Scrooge's comeback is basically, why are you happy? You're poor. He can only see the world in terms of profit and loss. Happiness equals money. But then his nephew just flips it right back at him. Why are you so miserable? You're rich. It's just a total collision of two completely different ways of looking at life. And there it is, the iconic line, bah, humbug. It's so much more than just some grumpy catchphrase. It's his armor. It's the shield he throws up against everything he can't stand. Things like generosity, family, joy. With just those two words, you can practically hear him slamming a heavy iron door shut on the rest of the world and on his own soul. So we've got our problem, right? Scrooge is a lost cause. So what's it going to take to change him? Well, Dickens doesn't give him a lecture. Nope. He sends something much, much more effective. A terrifying visit from the ghost of his old business partner, Jacob Marley, with a message straight from the great beyond. Okay, so the haunting doesn't start with a big jump scare. It's way creepier. Scrooge gets home to his cold, dark, empty house, a place that's pretty much a perfect reflection of his heart, and he goes to open his door just like he has a million times before. But tonight, something's different. The ordinary world he knows just starts to fray at the edges. That familiar thing he's about to touch, the knocker, it starts to change. And you just know the rules of reality are about to get thrown out the window. And then, boom, it's Marley's face. The supernatural just crashes head-on into Scrooge's miserable little world. And it's not some shadowy figure in the distance. It's the face of his dead partner, clear as day, right there on his front door. That's the moment we all know, okay, there's no running from this. So Marley shows up, and he's dragging this awful heavy chain. And this is where Dickens is just a genius. Because the punishment isn't random at all. The chain is literally made of all the things he cared about in life. Cash boxes, ledgers, padlocks. Every greedy choice he ever made became another link. It's a physical representation of his life's regrets. And the warning to Scrooge is crystal clear and absolutely terrifying. This is what you are making for yourself, right now. Link by miserable link.
But you see, Marley's visit was just the opening act. The real work, the heavy lifting, is about to begin. What comes next is the core of the whole story. Think of it like a supernatural, high-stakes intervention, all in one night, led by three very different spirits, and each one has a very specific lesson to teach.
And this isn't just some spooky ghost story for the sake of it. No, it's this incredibly well-structured psychological deep dive. The spirits are going to force Scrooge to look at his entire life. The man he used to be, the man he is right now, and the man he's on track to become. And what's the ultimate goal of all this? It's to break through that icy exterior and teach him empathy by making him feel something again. So first up is the ghost of Christmas past. And this spirit takes him right back to one of the most painful memories he has. He has to watch his former fiancée, Belle, break up with him. And her reason, man, it's just brutal.
She tells him straight up that another love has taken her place, a golden one. He's chosen money over her. So the real question the spirit is forcing Scrooge to face is, where did it all go wrong? He's shown everything, his lonely childhood, but also the real joy he felt as a young apprentice with old Fezziwig. And then, the turn, the moment he chose wealth over connection. He has to sit there and watch the very moments his heart started to freeze over. Next up, the ghost of Christmas present arrives to show Scrooge the here and now, the real-world consequences of his actions. And we see his loyal clerk, Bob Cratchit, trying to support his family on just 15 shillings a week. I mean, think about that. That's not just a number on a ledger. That's the tiny amount of money that dictates whether a family can eat, stay warm, and it's all because of Scrooge's greed. But here's the thing. Despite being so poor, the Cratchit family is incredibly rich in love, in spirit. And right at the center of it all is Tiny Tim. His simple little prayer, it's really the moral heart of the entire book. It's the polar opposite of Scrooge's bah humbug. It's this pure, genuine goodness that no amount of money could ever buy. And then, the final spirit, the ghost of Christmas yet to come. And this is the truly terrifying one, the one that shows a future with zero hope. Scrooge is forced to listen in as a bunch of businessmen talk about his death, and there's no sadness, not an ounce of respect. It's all just cold calculation. What has he done with his money? His entire life's work, everything he scraped and saved for, means nothing more to anyone than its cash value. But that's not even the final blow. The spirit then takes him to a lonely, neglected graveyard and points to a single tombstone. And when Scrooge forces himself to look, he reads his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge. And in that moment, the horrible truth hits him like a ton of bricks. His whole life of clutching and hoarding, it all leads to this, dying completely alone, unloved, and forgotten. So, he's been completely broken down. He's hit absolute rock bottom. But that means he's finally ready to be rebuilt. And this is the final part of our story, the amazing, joyful payoff to that whole night of terror. This is where we see him take everything he's learned and put it into action. Right there, staring at his own gravestone, Scrooge finally shatters. He begs, he pleads with the spirit, and he makes this desperate vow. And it's not just, okay, I'll be nice at Christmas. No way. It's a promise to completely change his life, to live with empathy and generosity, and to connect with people not just on one day, but all year round. And then he wakes up, it's Christmas morning, he's in his own bed, and he is a completely different man. It's like all the years of greed and bitterness have just vanished. Dickens describes him with these amazing, almost silly comparisons. Light as a feather, happy as an angel. It's like he's a kid again, just bursting with the kind of joy he probably thought was gone forever. And look, this isn't just a feeling he has. It's all about action. He doesn't just think nice thoughts. He does things. Immediately, he sends the biggest prize turkey he can find to the Cratchits. The very next day, he gives Bob Cratchit a huge raise. And from then on, he becomes like a second father to Tiny Tim. He's actively going out and fixing the harm he caused. And the whole story ends by coming right back around to where its heart is. The final words belong to Tiny Tim, the little boy who represents the very lesson Scrooge finally learned. It's this beautiful, timeless message of compassion, that we're all in this together, and that looking out for each other is what really matters. So that kind of leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? At the end of the day, A Christmas Carol is way more than just a ghost story. Its real power, why it's stuck around for so long, is its incredible belief that people can change. And it asks every single one of us, can one night, one moment of real reflection truly be enough to rewrite a lifetime of bad habits? Is it ever really too late to look at our own lives and decide to choose a different, better way forward?